Welcome back to another episode of Fishing the 262. In our last episode, we talked about some soft plastics that did not make the cut that are not going to be in the boat for 2025. So in this episode, I want to talk about 5 baits that did make the cut and are absolutely going to be in my boat this year. What are some of the things I'm looking for when I'm talking about these baits? Number 1, is it readily available? Can I get my hands on it if I need more? Number 2, does it catch fish? Obviously. Number 3, does it catch fish well enough that I feel good enough to put it in the boat on tournament day? If I can answer yes to that, you know it's going in the rotation then. And number 4, does it have good packaging? Packaging is super important to me. I'm not a guy that likes to take my plastics out of the package and put them into Plano boxes. I just don't have that kind of space in my boat. So packaging is important to me. So let's jump right into these baits. And coming up first, we're going to go with the Crush City Cleanup Craw. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a craw. Craw is a craw. Yes, and to a certain extent, you're probably right. But these have a nice action to them. They've got a fairly aggressive flapper on them. They've got plenty of plastic. You can see I colored the tips on those just a little bit to lighten them up. But they've got plenty of plastic to hold on the back of a jig. You can put a flipping hook in there. You can Texas rig these. Nice versatile craw. If you want to cut them down a little bit and make a more compact jig profile out of these, they'll absolutely fit the bill. These are going to go ahead and probably replace the Zoom Ultra Vibe Speed Craw in my lineup. It's just the way it is. Zoom's quality control, we all know what that looks like these days. So up next, we got another one from the Crush City lineup. Everybody knows about this bait. If you don't know about this bait by now, you must have been under a rock all of 2024. Jacob Wheeler destroyed the world. Between this and the Mooch Minnow, I think that guy pretty much dominated the whole world with those 2 baits. What I appreciate about this bait is I can do a couple of different things with it. I can Carolina rig this. I can put it on the back of a jackhammer. I can free rig this. I can hover rig this. It's just super versatile and it flat out catches fish. And this one is 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt staying in the rotation for the foreseeable future. If you haven't tried it, I seriously suggest you go out and try some of these. Got one more from the Crush City lineup. This is not a bait that I'm going to throw a ton. It's not a bait that I look forward to throwing necessarily, but it absolutely worked for me. I was able to drop shot this bait as well as throw it on the Ned rig, and that's just going to be the Ned BLT. But again, you're getting a quality bait that catches fish in high quality packaging. It doesn't take up a ton of room in the boat, obviously, and it's not something I'm going to throw on a regular basis. But as far as Ned bait goes, this one stays in the rotation for sure. Now, I've got 2 baits from a company that I've never really messed around with too much in the past, but this one is not new necessarily. It is the X-Zone Deception Worm. I really like this worm, you guys. I can do a couple of different things. Mostly I'm going to probably throw this on a shaky head. It does float, so you could probably even run it on top like a trick worm if you had the right color, like the old bubblegum or methylate. I don't know if it comes in those colors, but I have to imagine that it does. X-Zone has really good color selection, and it's quality bait. Can do a couple of different things with it, and I caught fish with it, weighed fish with it in the tournament last year, so big deal right there. Packaging, not as nice as the Crush City, but it gets the job done. And then the last one is another bait from X-Zone. I can't say enough about this bait, you guys. I grabbed these last year when I first saw them. It's going to be the X-Zone Stealth Finesse Series. That's like a 2.75 inch minnow. The colors are great. It's neutrally buoyant. You can nose hook it on a drop shot and it just stands straight out. I weighed several fish on this last year in the tournaments, and it's just going to be a player for me going forward. I really like it. And again, I mentioned this in my review of the Jig Squad jigs. I'm going to try this on the back of one of those, even as a Ned style, if I'm going to drag it on the bottom, or if I throw it on that little football head and start swimming it. I'm going to try one of those as the trailer on it. So, and again, you're going to get the clamshell package. Packaging, again, I'm a sucker for clamshells. It's just the way that I'm wired. I like my baits to be nice and straight, and nothing makes me more frustrated than buying a package of Zoom Super Flukes. I don't know, there's 8 or 10 of them in a bag, and 5 of them are bent, and then I got to decide if I'm going to spend time boiling them and straightening them back out, or if I'm just going to throw them away and move on. Clamshell's going to solve that problem for me each and every time. I'm not going to have to worry about those baits coming out of the package crooked. So that's the 5 baits that are staying in the rotation this year. Again, quick rundown: X-Zone Deception Worm, X-Zone Stealth Minnow and their Finesse, Stealth Series. Crush City Ned BLT for the days that I do have to throw a Ned rig. The Do Everything Freeloader. Picked up some Mooch Minnows too yesterday, so I'm looking forward to trying those. I got a couple ideas I want to try with those. And then obviously the cleanup cross stays in the rotation as well. So there you have it. 5 baits that made the cut in 2024 and are going to stay in the boat for 2025. I appreciate everybody tuning in so much. I can't thank you guys enough. If you're enjoying the content, smash the thumbs up button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Tight lines, everybody.